I typically think it's unfair when people expect you to look like you've anti-aged 20 years, given it's like, if you've been exposed to the sun for decades, or you've miniaturized certain hair follicles and literally have like fibrosis and calcification, trying to just expect you're going to grow 18-year-old hairline. It's not realistic. So you do what you can. One thing that has always perplexed me, though, is people who seemingly do pay very little attention or none to what they're doing, and yet still do much better and look way better than people who are doing everything.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this guy, Chuando tan, before?
No.
Oh my God, dude. So you need to guess how old this guy is and let me know. Let me know your best guess.
Yeah, I was just going to meet up with him. He's in Singapore.
Yeah, of course.
I was just in Singapore and didn't get a chance to meet. He's like 54.
He is turning 58 in a month.
Yeah.
That's absurd.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, some of his images are like relative low resolution to not show all the details, and maybe you'd see some of the fine lines around the eyes and stuff if you'd met him in person. But I mean, like, it's pretty undeniable that the guy looks at least like 20 plus years younger than he is, seemingly. So a guy like this, who's just a phenom of aging, and when he's interviewed about it, basically just says, I eat eggs and exercise.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wow, amazing. Yeah. Thanks for the insight.
That's right.
How do you chalk up, like, presumably your team has dug into this a fair bit, and I know maybe it's an educated guess, but how much of this is genetic versus lifestyle at the end of the day?
Yeah, great question. And I don't fault people for being confused. They like on this whole thing. So they look at that person and then they see the headline, this guy's spending $2 million a year. And so you're right. They conclude, well, this guy should look like that guy in 1 year's time.
Yeah.
And so I don't blame people because they have no idea what the biological principles are of aging, where the technology is to rejuvenate it, what you can actually get in return for that kind of money. So I totally understand people's confusion and then why they then seek to dunk on me because they're like, this isn't working, or like, this is a wasted project. So I don't know the answer of what you're saying, but I guess I would just say I understand why people are confused. And, it's actually pretty hard to educate people. Like, what is the value of Blueprint? It's like really, really hard to land.
Presumably with all the diagnostic criteria, though, at this point where you have by segregated organ age classifications and whatnot, or at least estimates of biological age, do you see some sort of trend or pattern among individuals that seem extraordinary in their just natural ability to stave off age? Or like for a guy like this, what would your best guess be if he was to implement all the lifestyle factors, all the biohacks? Like, is he eking out another 10% in anti-aging, or like, how do you?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is the question we have with me is we've maxed out many of my markers. And so even when we do some of these advanced therapies, is there still room? So if the follistatin in mice is 30% life extension, where's the starting point? And so in me, is it just basically a net neutral? All right. So we have the same question is we don't know what stacks and at what point.
Yeah, the thing that's tough is there is definitely, I'm sure you could speak to the data better than I, even a correlation between how good and young you look and how you feel. And then by extension, that indirectly, how healthy you are because you're a happier person, you have better relationships. Like, it's just, everything about it is more ideal if you can stave off the even visual perception of aging, even if it's not organ deep.
Yeah.
So it kind of begs the question, though, why there's such a discordance between, or like such a big disparity sometimes between how old somebody might look and some of these people will be totally unhealthy by metrics of blood work.
That's right.
And everything internally looks pretty horrendous.
It's rotting.
Yeah, but on the outside, it's like your skin looks pretty damn good.
Yeah.
So how do you make sense of the lack of systemic kind of concordance of these?
Yeah, that would be cool to see him go through a Blueprint style measurement profile. Like you're saying, what do his insides look like?
Yeah.
Is it as pristine as what his appearance is, at that age? So yeah, I think it's a great question and interesting. Like, what are the power laws yielding those results?
Do you think that guy, rather than being whatever, like a fashion influencer or whatever he is, or a model, that he might at some point start to take advantage of this like stature online. People see him as probably, I don't know of a guy who looks younger at that high of an age to where he could make a whole career out of just assessing his diagnostics, probably.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. I don't know. That guy is got a unique opportunity for sure. It's wild seeing some of the ads. He'll show, here's an ad I did from 1993, and it looks like exactly the same.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, it is promising. This is the thing is, to me, that's really encouraging, because biology is capable of the things we're asking it to be, and we're just trying to sort it out.
Yeah. But then it's always tough too, because some people will surgically intervene to the point that it's impossible to even make sense of if what they did is.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's always the insides. I mean, it's very hard to do cosmetic surgery on blood work and organs, and that's what we've tried to do. I mean, when people struggle to understand Blueprint, it's like to understand your true age and also your risk of death, of dying, you have to look at every single organ in the body, because you're as old as your oldest marker.